Last question, go ahead.
Yeah, do these higher amounts of benzene that have been discovered mean that the harm will spread wider in the valley or LA than we thought?
Well, that's one thing we're going to be looking at is this 5-mile kind of veil that was set. I'm not sure where it came from, but when we can look at the zip codes on out, we can chart it and look at distances. There was a huge study done in regards to toxins in Colorado. They did this exact same study and found as you moved in 10 miles closer towards a storage site that the ALL or leukemia actually rose 4.3% in the community, which is significant.
Percent or times?
All right.
4.3% higher, 4.3 times higher.
4.3 times. Did I say percent?
You said
I
percent.
apologize. 4.3 times higher.
So anybody in the
500%.
valley can come and take the test, right? It doesn't matter how far from the facility?
Correct. And then the data will be dumped into a HIPAA compliant server. No personal information will be on these CBCs. The only thing will be there is the sex and the age of the patient in the results.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Matthew.
We have a few more questions.
Can you let me know if you're going to have a question?
Oh.
So, Lane,
Okay, sorry.
and then Penny. Go ahead. Lane.
Dr. Nordella, in addition to the benzene, as we know, there was radon, xylene, and
Formaldehyde.
goodness knows what's in there. Does that mean we're going to discount everything else and focus on the most important, the benzene, or will we be able to?
No, but I'm only one person.
Right. I knew, that's why I hesitated to ask.
Of the VOCs, you have a couple. The ones that I worry about the most in the VOCs are the benzene. It's the highest studied molecule, and I think it's the most potential for disease and pathology. That's why I'm focusing on that. You also have heavy metals here, and we have just opened the doors on that. And that is going to be, I think, bigger than the benzene. So just a heads up to you. Formaldehyde has been dumped, and no, we're not going to ignore them, but we only have so much resources to study, so we have to choose what we're going to do.
And not enough money, that's what I was wondering.
Yes, I'm broke, so.
Is AQMD supporting you on this?
AQMD has asked that we possibly could use this information on top of their information that they're going to do with the two $500,000 allotments. So there's a possibility, but I have not had any communication with them except for the letter that you guys will have in a minute.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, piggyback on Lori's question, is there some way that you can have a town hall with doctors, say at FACey, where my doctor is, and Kaiser and all the major ones? Because, I mean, when you bring up like my ALT scores I told you about at the last meeting that, and my doctor is puzzled why that particular test, and maybe when doctors can talk to you and get information that might help their patients and maybe encourage them to take part in your study.
I would be more than happy to talk to any of them, but they're an unusual breed. So we'll just leave it at that. And sometimes there won't be a lot of communication there, but you know, that's why we work with the people better.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Doc.
Hey.
I was wondering if you could tell us, for instance, people that work out at the YMCA, they're right in the heart of this and they're running their metabolism a lot higher, a lot faster, versus people that were either coming in and out of the community or just staying at home, wearing air conditioning. Is there different exposure levels, but because they're working out so much, how's that going to be for those folks? Should we be looking at those people, or if you're one of those people, be more concerned about getting your testing done more frequently because of it?
Well, it's an excellent question, and you're correct, and it bleeds over into, bleeding is not probably a good thing for bleeding, but it actually will go over into the issue of who gets affected worse by this? Children. Why? Because their basal metabolic rate runs higher. So any time that you're cranking this through your body and metabolism, your liver is working, you're making these toxins. Numerous toxins, not just one, not just benzene oxide. I give you the names, but so the issue is, and they all have a different mechanism in attacking the DNA to mutate it. And that's why you get a variety of different syndromes from it. So yes, you're absolutely correct. Anybody who increases their metabolic rate okay? That's why alcohol, people who drink a lot, their P450 cytochrome system is actually buffed up, and they crank it more, and they're at higher risk.
So with that thought in mind, that children are the most vulnerable sect of our population, we are sitting at one of the two schools that are at ground zero. And these poor children, both here in Castle Bay, and I don't want to exclude the children at Beckford and Darby and Topeka and Germain and so on and so on. But these two schools had their children here for 3 months until they moved at winter break. Can the board assist in a way to get this information into these schools? Because there are, what, 1,000 kids here, PRCS? How many?
Wow.
1,100, another 600 or 700 at Castle Bay. There's 1,800 kids who are affected, who could be, massively affected. So I think the board needs to help. We need to have a conduit here so that we can get this information to these schools, to the administrations, to the PTAs, the booster clubs, etc. That these students should, there should be a line at the door at Primax to have these people, these children in this study for the next umpteen years.
I agree, and I would be more than happy if we could aggregate the hours
We're still on the board here.
to be,
So we'll work on it.
that we could do a presentation to them to get them involved.
Yeah, when the gas leak first happened, you guys weren't on the board yet, but the first 5 months, every single month there was a different meeting, whether it was a parent group meeting at the school, whether the PRNC put it on, whether it was at the church. But if you advertise it enough and point out those particular things, like the 2,000 students, come and find out how it affects your kids and highlight it like that on a poster or flyer or a notice, they will come, because these rooms were packed. There was standing room only here and at the church the first 2 or 3 months of the gas leak.
I think to make a statement to that, I'd like to see the community, through this organization, get involved. The apathy is high. We've got to get rid of it. If you guys want the answers, we're trying to give them to you. But if people don't respond, can't help them. So it's very important. They've got to come out and they've got to get involved.
Is there some way that we can test the homeless people who were out on the streets 24/7 breathing this in? Is there some way that my neighborhood council, West Hills Neighborhood Council Homeless Committee can help you to do that? To line them up and test them on the streets?
I think